Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Okay. Alright. So, we'll hit this. This will be Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations, Part Nueve, aka Part 9. What's going on, Sniffleupagus?
I sniffles.
Oh, gee, is it because you left the window open and it's fucking cold as shit in here?
It's not.
Fucking Feezin. My pee-pee fell off. I had to super glue it back on.
I'm not pleasing.
This bullshit. Your mother wants to freeze my gems off. All right. So, it's time for the trial.
I can't see your stream in Discord.
Yep. And away we go. There you go. All right. January 8th, 9:46 a.m. at District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 1.
Good morning, Mr. Wright. Good morning, Maggie. Oh, what do you think is going to happen today, sir? Yesterday's session didn't go so well and ended on a giant mystery.
Well, that's true. And we still haven't solved a single part of it yet.
I hate you for this.
What?
Are you okay, Nick?
Huh? Yeah, of course.
I saw that little flash of doubt in your eyes.
No, that wasn't doubt. That was, determination. Yeah.
Why don't I believe you? It's nearly time, Maggie. You better get going to the defendant's seat. Roger, don't let me down, Mr. Wright. I'm counting on you.
Hey, pal. Oh, hey, Detective Gumshoe. We're stressing Maggie out. She doesn't need that. How did you know she was stressed? I was watching through the doorway. Oh. You look like you're lost in the case already. Show a bit of confidence, will you, pal? Here, maybe this'll help.
Huh? Have you taken up aromatherapy too?
Not in a million years, pal. Don't tell me that you don't remember this thing. Come to think of it, that doesn't look like one of those aromatherapy bottles. This is a small bottle that turned up in Trebian's kitchen a couple days ago.
Wow, look at all these little bottles.
Ah, they're aromatherapy oils. He's got so many, they're overflowing onto the floor.
Hey, wait a minute. There's one bottle that's different from all the others.
Well, what do you know? And it doesn't have a label either.
And it doesn't smell.
We finally got the analysis results back from the lab.
So, what is it? Is it poison?
It's D's. It's not. It's not D's nuts. I'm afraid not, pal. It's medication.
Medication?
Yeah, for ears. Topical use only, apparently. For ears? You mean... Yeah, it's the medication Glenn Egg was using for his ruptured eardrum. What was Glenn Egg's ear medicine doing in the kitchen?
You nasty.
Hi, demon! What about the unidentified fingerprints? Anything on that? Someone screwed up, so they only had time to analyze the contents of the bottle. Another hour, they might have gotten something on the prints, but... that's gonna weaken its impact as a piece of evidence. Okay, pal, this is it. Make sure your defense is impregnable today, got it? That is such a big word for Gumshoe. today's trial, I'm gonna expose that guy for what he's done. Or my name isn't Phoenix Wright. January 8th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. Essential oils are definitely a thing. Thank you.
For some people.
For some people. I use my healing by jamming shungite up my ass. I jam really big pieces of shungite in my butt and it blocks the 5Gs. Yeah. Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Ready and waiting as always, Your Honor. Very good. Well, then we'll get underway at once. Yesterday we heard the testimony of Mr. Victor Kudo. He claims to have witnessed the defendant putting a powder into the victim's coffee. However, the witness's testimony was plagued with a number of problems. The mark on the rim of the cup shows that the victim drank from it with his right hand. But according to the old man's testimony, he picked it up with his left hand. Thank you, Mr. Godot. Furthermore, according to the witness's account, the victim was listening to the radio with an earpiece in his left ear. Yet the victim's left eardrum was ruptured, which made him effectively deaf in that ear.
It's amazing how many contradictions a single case can have, huh, Nick?
The Wi-Fi 60's nuts. You said peppermint oil? Nah, peppermint oil's good though. Allow me to enlighten you, Your Honor. The world, you see, keeps turning. We must turn with it. You've lost me already, Mr. Godot. Don't let the mysteries of yesterday mystify you today. Only losers think like that. You've got to change with the times. That's one of my rules. Are you implying that you've resolved these contradictions? You know the answers to these riddles? Damn. Fucked it up already. GG. That old guy wasn't just throwing seeds in here. He was throwing us off the scent. And today, I'll prove it. Very well. Let the first witness take the stand. Oh, God, no. Aw, dude, high precision machine oil is so fabulous. All right, let's just do it. And you are? Oh, bonjour, everyone. I'm Jean Armstrong, the owner and head chef of La Tribulations restaurant. Enchanté. Forgive me for asking, witness, but are you a woman? Man, that's an inappropriate question. Ooh la la, monsieur. As you can see, I'm a Perth and Perk gentleman, no? On the day of the incident, were you in Travian's kitchen? Isn't that right? It was you, monsieur. Everything feels right. Give me that very fucking creepy smile. Huh. Wow, he's totally unfazed. Doesn't anything intimidate this guy? Very well, your testimony, please, witness. Please tell the court what happened that day at Tribien. Oui, volontiers. Today, something awoke within the judge. Just like yesterday, something awoke within Diane. What, Bubba?
I was just giggling.
When it all happened, there were just 2 customers in my restaurant. I remember I was experimenting with some new art decos that day. Like having a large mirror between the tables, for example. Well, perhaps that is what La Oman was looking at. la cup, la earpiece, and la glasses, he would have seen everything in reverse, no? Mirror? Oui, un grand mirror. La most enormous mirror. Suddenly, history disappears. Like I said, the world keeps turning, so roll with it. Well, that would explain the coffee cup and the earpiece conundrum. The mirror would have made everything appear back to front. Well, I wipe back to front and front to back. I move my body back and forth. The judge is a huge Andy C fan. What the heck? It's way too early in the morning for this to be happening to me. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Alright, let's press it all. And who were the two customers exactly? Of course, the young man who died. And the other not-so-young man. You were referring to yesterday's witness, I presume? What about the other man Maggie says she saw at the table? Something tells me Mr. Armstrong isn't planning to disclose his existence. Got
We need
one.
some hard evidence first before we bring him up, don't we?
I guess I'll just have to try a different approach for the time being. I remember I was experimenting with some new Art Decos that day. Hold up. You were experimenting with Art Deco? How come I've never heard about that before today? You are not familiar with the language of interior design, monsieur? Please stay on topic. Now, why didn't you tell the court about this before? But I did, just a few moments ago. Excuse me, Mr. Armstrong. This deco you mentioned, are you referring to some sort of decoction? No, Art Deco. It's a style of design, Your Honor. He's talking about interior design, walls, ceilings, carpets, that kind of thing. Oh yes, of course, that deco. I was trying to achieve a more effeminate look for my restaurant. I was planning the most bold remodeling of Le Decor. Like having a large mirror between the tables, for example. How big of a mirror are we talking about here? Whoa. Something about 4 meters wide and, about 2 meters high. Let's see, if 1 meter is about 1 yard. Holy fucking glass in a frame, that's huge. I was intending to install it on the ceiling eventually. Oh, Jesus. Ceiling? Was there a mirror on the ceiling? I don't remember. No, I've decided not to go through with it in the end. What should I do? Should I ask more about the mirror? No. I am going to ask about the mirror. If you really had such a large mirror in the restaurant, someone would have noticed it. But there's nothing about a mirror in Mr. Kudo or Maggie Bird's testimonies. But... You didn't ask, right? You have only yourself to blame for such sloppy work. What? The mirror was delivered to Tribulations the day before the incident. Really? As Mr. Armstrong testified, he was carrying out some design changes. And as it turned out, he didn't actually use the mirror in the end. This just doesn't add up. Even if the mirror was delivered to Tribulations, it doesn't prove that it was in the restaurant on the day of the crime. You want to doubt someone, right? Look in the mirror. I'm sure the person looking back will be dubious enough. So the witness yesterday had seen the victim reflected in a mirror. Perhaps that is what our man was looking at. Yeah, I gotta go back to this mirror. I gotta challenge it. Let's try Victor. Ah. Oops. False alarm, sorry.
What happened?
I showed off my attorney's badge, which is not what I wanted to do. What the hell? All right. Bless, Bubba. Bless. Oh, okay, okay. I need to. I did not introduce Glenn first. There we go. The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side of the green lens of his specs. Oh, okay, SNES. Fucking objection. Objectify my wallet? Yeah. No question, you can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, without a doubt. So to summarize, we were told both the HMD and the earpiece were on the victim's left side. If Mr. Kudo saw that as a reflection in the mirror, it means both the HMD and the earpiece were actually on the victim's right side. Exactamente, you see, monsieur. Now that you think about it, it's not so odd, no? Unfortunately, that's where we run into a monumental contradiction with the facts. If Mr. Kudo really did see everything in a mirror, why is it the HMD is now on the wrong side of his head? Order, order. Mr. Wright is correct. If the witness generally observed the victim reflected in a mirror, then we would expect the victim's eyepiece to have been over his right eye. How you doing, SNES? How bitter. Trite, you should have a taste of this bitterness. It'll calm you down in no time. Are we talking about your coffee or something completely different? I'm married to Edgeworth. You don't understand the way the witness thinks. How he thinks? You remember this, I presume. I broke the vase. Sorry apology? I mean, Mr. Kudo's sworn testimony? Exactly. The old man has one very grievous habit, other than throwing seeds. The more of an impression something makes, the more muddled his mind makes it. And what's the most striking thing about Mr. L? Oh, clearly it's the victim's earpiece. And that's my point. The old man strikes again. Mr. L's HMD made a big impression on the old man. I saw the earpiece with these newfangled spectacles he was wearing. Oh yes, they were both on his left ear. Didn't you hear his left ear? Fucking old people. Huh. Well, Trite. Ugh. That's the worst but best impression of Kudo ever.
I really thought he was only see there for a minute. Godot's good.
Enough. I must agree that yesterday's witness was irresponsibly rash in much of his testimony.
Bad luck, Nick. Looks like the boil of a contradiction you found is just a rash.
A mirror can't be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can it lie. So, what exactly was the old man looking at? Fill us in, Mr. Armstrong. Go on, tell the court. We're all ears. The answer is Maggie's butt. I can explain. Please, if you will look at the plans of the restaurant. The mirror. Hello, is everyone sitting comfortably? The mirror, it was in the middle of the restaurant, dividing into two halves. There's only one seat from which you can have seen the image of the victim. That is at the seat at the table next to the victims. That was where the old man was sitting. After the terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror, so it was not in the way. But naturally, I did not touch anything else. He's a little bit German, because, like, my French sucks, and I bet his does, too. Hey, Andor, get off the fucking table. Hey! Fuck you. Wanna fight? Fucking throw hands? That's what I thought. I see no problems with the explanation we have just heard. From the table next to the victims, Mr. Kudo could have seen the victim in the mirror. Oh, what a naughty little coquette. I am confusing Aussie men like this. Don't worry about it. Alright, Godot, don't worry about it. We can keep up, except for the guy breaking out in a cold sweat over there again. I hate that guy. You did say you didn't touch anything else apart from the mirror. Are you quite sure about that? Oh, well, yes, of course. I expect him to just be a little greasy hornball. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you please.
Is that Godot's first name?
What?
Jean?
No, this is Jean Armstrong.
Oh.
I don't remember what Godot's first name is.
I'm gonna say I fucking hate Godot.
What do you mean? How could you like shitty cyborg Steve Bloom?
It just really grinds my
So, run this by me again. The mirror was here, correct? We? Really? Because I know if I were you, I wouldn't have put a mirror there. It would be in the way. Objection. Look who's talking, right? Huh? You're obstructing my view, among other things. But this is my seat in the courtroom. Fabienne's charm, that it gives you the impression that you're the only customer. Temporarily placing a mirror in that spot would hardly be in the way. Unlike you, trite. I tell you, monsieur, the mirror was there, in the middle of the restaurant. Only one seat from which you could have seen an image of the victim. And where would that be? Oh, no, look how you lean toward me. Always attracting younger boys. Maybe I should keep you in suspense a little longer. Mr. Armstrong, tell the court what you know at once. I attract the older ones too, you know, and handsome. And shall I do so too? That smile is so fucking creepy, Godot. Stop it. I'm already seeing a very hot summer. I'm afraid you'll be waiting for a long time.
I bet she has a mocha cream skin and cappuccino perfume.
I bet her name's Phoenix. I mean, what? Bien, I'll tell you. There's only one seat from which you could have seen. Because that was the seat at the table next to La Victim. That was where the old man was sitting. Yo, is it, Franziska? My, monsieur. It is obvious now. If you look at the plans, you will understand.
Oh, okay, fun then.
I'll bring it back.
Oh.
Ugh. I accidentally fumbled through it. Alright. Oh, okay. So why can you only see the victim from that particular seat? My monsieur. It is obvious, no? If you look at the plans, you will understand. The victim would have been reflected in the mirror, like so. And if you were sitting at the table next to him, you would see everything, no?
So that's the old seat he was sitting in on that day. When the poisoning happened.
The old man was sitting at the table next to the victim? Why does that seem kind of odd? I'm pretty sure he did. After the terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it was not in the way. He full of shit. I need to stop hitting the wrong button. That will also help. So if you remember, Victor knocked over that vase. There's a mirror in the way. What? Oh, come on. Damn, I'm gonna get wiped here. Do we need to... Okay, I think we gotta go this direction first. Yep, there we go. I was thinking things out in my head. This piece of evidence contradicts with the testimony we have heard, Your Honor. The crime photo? Yes, this photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist. What on earth do you mean by that? Right. Should not exist. Sounds like you're describing yourself, right?
Rude.
Damn. Now, if the defense would please clarify its statement. What is this something that should not exist in the photo? Victor Kudo said he knocked the flower vase over. I think it's pretty obvious that this is what should not be in the picture. The vase? What possible connection does that have with this witness's testimony? Your Honor, I'm telling you that there should have been no vase on this table because it very clearly contradicts with this piece of evidence. Now we can throw Victor Kudo at it. Well, Your Honor? Well, I'm not sure the contradiction is as clear as you would have us believe, Mr. Wright. Oh. Perhaps you should reconsider before you try again. Try again? You know what's wrong? Very well. Gather your thoughts, Mr. Wright. In the meantime, the witness will repeat his testimony for the court. Alright, Demon, what the fuck? The vase wasn't there because Victor said he fucking knocked it over. Oh, fuck. Did I present his profile as opposed to his testimony? Fuck. Alright, do it again. Bye-bye. That's all right. To be fair, that's on me. Blah, 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 blah. All right, no more mistakes. Let's go. Take that. Take that! There's one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting. And yet, as the court can see, there's an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Because Mr. Kudo was not, in fact, sitting at the table next to the victim at all. He was stroking it in the bathroom. Don't be an idiot, Wright. That's impossible. That seat's the only one Kudo could have seen the victim's reflection from.
What reflection?
Yeah, exactly. There's only one conclusion we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in Tribulations that day. Your testimony, Armstrong, is fucking bullshit. It's an elaborate lie. I'm sorry. I'm my professional courtroom decorum. Mon Dieu! Smash! Don't try to confuse the court, Wright. Obviously, the witness cleaned up the vase while the police were taking their time getting to the crime scene. Suck my dick. Unfortunately, Mr. Godot, that doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary, in his own words. I did not touch anything else except the mirror. Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself? I was right. There was no mirror in the restaurant that day. In light of this revelation, we return back to the original problem. Who the hell's been beating up my wife? And why is she dead? Oh, why did the victim have an earpiece in an ear in which he couldn't hear? I don't know why I'm rhyming. You only get one shot in life. No turning back. If you want to claim that the mirror wasn't there, Wright, then this problem is all yours. How do you explain what the old man saw? I can answer this. Then I'll be that much closer to the truth. I can feel it.
Are you gonna be okay? Can you really solve this contradiction, Nick?
There's more than just one contradiction now.
What do you...
All right, let me break it down for you, like real simple, okay? Remember that, you know, remember what Maggie told us? There was another man at the victim's table, and there was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. And I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is adding up. This is like the musical part that rolls in. . Well, Mr. Wright, let me hear your answer. Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradiction, Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple. He's fucking full of shit. The victim was a phony. This case is riddled with contradiction. Yet there's one very simple answer that clears them all up. And what is that? The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events. What? Yes, the victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Mr. Glenn Elg at all. It was an imposter, a phony, pretending to be Mr. Elg. Obviously, unlike the victim, there was nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake.
But can you prove it?
Order in the court. Settle down or I'll clear the courtroom. Quiet, Gramps. Why don't you clear out of here? What did you say? Right. Are you saying that what Mr. Kudo saw was a setup? Yep. Someone pretended to be Glenn Elgin and acted out the whole coffee poisoning. All for the express purpose of creating a witness out of one Mr. Victor Kudo. Get real, Wright. Why would anyone want to do that? Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about in his testimony was, the serving girl brought me a Javicino, but she put something in it. That's a serving girl, right? There in the defendant's chair? I remember her well. It's odd to believe, but there was one, and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. To show Maggie Bird in the act of poisoning the coffee. Are you insinuating that the waitress in the old man's story was a fake as well? It's true that there were no other customers in the restaurant at the time, but it's also true that the chef wasn't there. He would have noticed what was happening. That's right. Well, witness, if your restaurant really was the scene of such theatrics, you would have known about it, correct? La la, this is most difficult for me. No, it's quite simple. All you have to do is testify. You are under oath, after all. Was there in fact a phony at the Tribulations that day? The defense demands that Mr. Armstrong tell the whole truth about what happened. The defense's request for additional testimony is accepted. You will accurately explain in detail the events in the restaurant that day. We... La victim, Monsieur Elg. He came to my restaurant alone. I remember the old man arrived not long after him, as there were no other customers. When he got word he won the lottery, Monsieur Elg became very excited. Very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. No, there was no time for a phony to do the acting. Just so we're clear, there was no mirror in the restaurant after all. Je vous demande pardon. Forgive me, Your Honor. I lied because I wanted this mess to be cleared up quickly. What you have just done is commit perjury, Mr. Armstrong. That's a fucking felony. That's a felony. You're going to jail. Fuck me in the ass of federal prison. Enjoy your stay. I will decide how to punish you later. You'll see me in my chambers. For now, we will hear your cross-examination. Mr. Wright, if you would, please. I think that perjury charge a bit too well. But I'm guessing he'll be in more serious trouble after this cross-examination. Alright. That's a fucking felony, Alfina. The victim, Monsieur Elg, came to my restaurant alone. Mr. Armstrong is gonna get fed something until it blows out. Was he alone at his table as well? I saw him from the kitchen. Yet the defendant, Miss Bird, remembers it very differently. He swears there was another man at the victim's table. Unfortunately for you, Wright. Yesterday's witness also testified that the victim was alone. Ugh. You know, seeing you squirm like that reminds me. A certain coffee is bittersweet. What kind of coffee is this asshole drinking?
It's not coffee, it's love. It's love that's bittersweet.
Hearing Maya say that makes her seem wise. Suddenly. By old man, you mean Victor Kudo, right? He comes often for my special coffee. I drank your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special, I'll give you that. It's worth a sip just for the experience. You make me so happy, monsieur. You're most welcome anytime. I said it was worth one sip, and nothing more. So, old Mr. Kudo arrived at the restaurant at the same time as the victim. Maybe I should ask about his arrival in more detail. Yes. Out of curiosity, about what time was it when Mr. Kudo arrived? Oh no, I cannot remember, monsieur. I believe we were told by a witness yesterday. The crime was reported at 2:25 p.m. by a kind of scary old man, so... Does that perhaps jog your memory, witness? The incident happened about 20 minutes after he arrived. So the victim must have arrived between 2 and 2:10, no? Just after 2, huh? Thank you for your help in jogging my memory, monsieur. You're wonderful. I can't sit here all the time and do nothing now, can I? No, that's pretty much fucking what you do. The time of day will be added to the witness's testimony. Oui, Monsieur Judge. Everything I do it for you. Merci bien. That's French, isn't it? I'm glad at least one person is in a good mood.
He's even humming a song to himself.
This shit still ain't right. I completely fucked through that. Are you absolutely sure about that time? When I think really hard, I'm sure it was just after 2 It is the time I stopped serving the lunch menu. Quite right. I was break for lunch when the restaurants are serving the specials. I've been known to wind up a case early just to make it on time. I guess you should never get between a hungry judge and his lunch. Oh, would you look at that? It's almost lunchtime already. Witness, get on with your testimony, please. I'm gonna back this John up because if I recall correctly, you mentioned that he won the lottery, and why would he be doing that at 1:30 p.m.? I think you're full of shit. I'm afraid you've finally gotten it. Ugh. All right. Prison food ain't bad. I'm afraid I finally got you, Mr. Armstrong. Well, what do you mean? At the time in question, the victim was listening to the radio with his earpiece. The show he was listening to was Millionaire Radio. Each week, they announced the winning numbers of the $500,000 lottery ticket. Wait, that must have been the show Elg was listening to. I can't see any problem with this testimony, Mr. Wright. I wonder. You say the victim arrived at your restaurant after 2 p.m., correct? I'm sure of it. I remember it perfectly now. I know it was that time because I had just finished serving the lunch menu. Get to the point, Wright, if you have one. That show was broadcast live at 1:30 p.m., and it claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life, outside of me. It's on the air at 1:30. Now, supposedly, the victim made some noise when it was announced that he had won. And yet, I don't believe his cry of joy could have occurred after 2 p.m. because his show had already finished more than 30 minutes earlier by that point in time. No! This victim we've been told about has done nothing but the impossible. Listening to the radio with a ruptured eardrum, catching a show that was already over. There's only one conclusion you can draw from these facts. You're all full of shit! This victim was an imposter acting out the poisoning 30 minutes after the real murder. Yes, there were 2 Glen Elgs and Tribulations that day. The real Glen Elg, now dead, having been poisoned by the real killer, and the phony Glen Elg, acting out the events for Mr. Kudo. It certainly seems that way. I mean, if that wasn't the case, how could you explain the time discrepancy? Quite a performance, Wright. You're almost on a roll, too. But sadly, you lack the rock-hard foundation of rhythm and a strong core to build your song. What is this, Music Theory 101? Let's recap. According to your imaginative theory, it's now just after 2 p.m. The phony elk is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. How do you explain then where the real Glen Elk is? I don't believe I have to spell this out for the court. However, at that time, the real Glen Elk was already dead. Well, certainly the obvious conclusion. Thank you, Fred. That's exactly what I was hoping you'd say. What? Now, I presume you can prove this theory of yours. Can you explain where the missing corpses went to? The missing corpse? According to the old man's testimony, there's only one other customer there. If that customer was the phony Glen Elg, then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim? Ugh.
Damn, Daniel.
The prosecution has a valid point, Mr. Wright. If your theory is to stand up to the examination by the court, you must provide us with proof by answering the prosecution's question. Where did the killer hide the body? Yes, Your Honor. No conjecture, Wright. Let's hear some facts for once. Little bitch. Show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden. Evidence? Dash you, Bobo.
What's with all the intense pressure in here all of a sudden?
I thought I had him. That contradiction. But he's turned it all around and backed me into a corner instead. Well, Mr. Wright, the court will now hear the defense's theory and evidence. First, where was the body of the real Mr. Elg concealed? We didn't find a fucking body. It would have been too dangerous to take the body outside. Obviously, the body must have been hidden somewhere inside Tribulations. Interesting. But where could a body have been hidden inside a restaurant? Perhaps you would care to show the court on these plans, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. The exact location where the body... Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Well, it's not the front door. It would have to be the kitchen somewhere. Maybe the... The body was hidden here. I see. Hold on, just readjusting a few things here and making sure the closed captions work. I see. Nice supposition. Allow me to offer a suppository. But the real question is, can you back it up? Where's the evidence that proves the body was hidden in that location? The fucking medicine. Yes. Is it? Oh no. Damn it. I thought I tweaked him just enough. How about now? Yeah, there we go. Much, much better. Damn, what's it like being a kick-ass streamer? Open captioning. The ability to change things on the fly. Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle? No. I've never seen that ugly bottle before in my life. I only use the very best bottles, monsieur. The ice quality, only for me. Where was that bottle found, Mr. Wright? Interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found in the kitchen of Tribulations. Cool. But I only ever use these bottles for my aromatherapy oils. Yeah, but this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. No, it contains medication. What kind of medication? I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? That Mr. Elg visited an otolaryngological clinic and was given medication that day. Yeah, that's right, I fucking said it. First try. Otolaryngological. Well, technically it'd be an otolaryngological clinic. Okay, it's an ear, nose, and throat doctor. Fucking nerd. No wonder you can't get any bitches on your dick, Phoenix. You can't be serious. The defense had the contents of the bottle analyzed, and I have the lab results right here. Edgeworth is definitely a bitch. The contents of the bottle match the prescription that was given to Mr. L. Otolaryngological. Otonie mis cajones, amiga. Otolaryngology. They just call it ear, nose, and throat doctor, all right? Glenn Elk's murderer hid the body in the restaurant kitchen. At which time this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen? Mon Dieu! Yes, you know what I'm about to say. It was you who hid the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client, Maggie Bird, however. You were setting her up to take the fall behind the poor girl's back. Otolaryngological. Order. This is an extraordinary development. I appear to have shit myself on the bench. The court calls for a 5-minute recess. A witness, did you murder Mr. Glenn Elg? Never. I could not do such an horrible thing. No! Mr. Godot. The bitterness. Every time I get lied to, I always down a mug of coffee and a pack of hot cocks. That's one of my rules. You have the slightest idea how many cups you've had by now?
37.
Then, I like to do the same to the person who lied to me. I like to take them down with my empty cup and packet of hot cocks. Listen up, chef. I put a brand new flavor in your ear, my H-deficient friend. We gonna kick a brand new flavor in his ear? Are we making a early 90s hip-hop reference? Je vous demande pardon. Please, you must hear me out. It is a trap. Listen to me, por favor. No hablo español, Mr. Armstrong, and por favor is Spanish. Wait, why does the judge speak Spanish? This is not good. I'm only gonna ask you once. Did you do it? No, absolutely no. Let's hear it. You got one shot, one opportunity to eat your mom's spaghetti. Right, Gramps? Witness, the court will permit you the chance to make one final statement. If you lie under oath again, Mr. Gato's gonna fuck your asshole. That coffee mug awaits you, as does my gavel. It's clear. Why do they always say that in the movies? I've got a bad feeling about this. Geordie LaForge from Star Trek went Super Saiyan. Very well, begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong. I'm just limping through this. It is true. I hid the body in the kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go along with him because there was a reason why I could not refuse. But I did not kill him, I swear. You must believe me. You were forced? By who? I cannot say, or I will be erased. Well, let's try a different question then. Who was your daddy and what does he do? When Mr. L died, was he really the only person at that table? There was another man. I fucking knew it.
Maggie was telling the truth.
You may cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright. There's just one more thing I need to do. I gotta break this guy. Get him to tell us the name of the real killer. It is true, I hid my body in the kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go along with him because there was a reason why I could not refuse. Is it because of that? Ah, gotcha. You have $500,000 debt, don't you? $500,000? Is that true, Mr. Armstrong? We just Je suis désolé. Oh my god, fucking bring it back. Je suis désolé. I was weak and I borrowed the money. This is Mr. Armstrong's Achilles heel. And that's why you couldn't refuse anything asked of you by this man. A $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. You had no way of paying it back, did you? That's why you were forced to do anything this man told you to. Oui, it is as you say.
Mr. Armstrong.
The tiger, he told me he was going to use my restaurant for a business rendezvous. On the day in question, he was meeting the victim to demand that he repay his loan. What's up, Sandy? I don't know why it happened like that. I just did what he told me to. I had no choice. I carried the body and the unconscious Maggie out of the dining area into the kitchen. After that, I just tried to forget what I had seen. And I think we can now safely say the man who forced your hand was Mr. Curio Tigre. I do have one further question to you, Mr. Armstrong. The poison and lottery ticket that were found in the defendant's apron pocket, was that your doing as well? No, I knew nothing about that. Maggie, making it look like it was Maggie who had done it that was not, it is despicable. Mr. Godot, you will summon this Furio Tigre as a witness. I doubt that can be arranged today, so we will adjourn for now. Proceedings will continue tomorrow. Fucking student loans. 30 minutes. What? Trial will go on. See to it myself. I need half an hour to get this guy on the stand. Not a minute more. How the... Don't sit back and relax yet, Wright. No one knows if that chef is really telling the truth or not. This trial could still go either way, just like me. Very well, your request is granted, Mr. Godot. We will resume once Mr. Tigre is ready to take the stand. Until then, court is adjourned for a 30-minute recess.
That was intense.
Yeah. All right, Demon, do you think we can wrap the end of this? Or is this like another massive chunk? I think we can get through. Let me toss on some music really quick. And I'm gonna make some tea, see if we can pound through it. What's up, bub? Anyway, that was the third time your mother caught chlamydia. Well, children, I'm back. Your grandpa wants you to know that he spent all the inheritance on Hooker.
Thanks, Grandpa.
Thanks, Grandpa. Anyway, let's go. Time to roll. January 1:21 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby.
So we're finally gonna see the tiger on the stand. We've almost got this case won now, Nick.
I wish I could agree.
Huh?
When I cross-examined Mr. Armstrong just now, he said he was just doing what the tiger told him to do. But Godot picked up on it, remember? He pointed out that without proof, we don't know if what he testified is the truth.
You mean you don't think Armstrong was lying?
I don't know. If that's the line the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. I get the feeling that we don't have the case-making evidence going to need. Hey, pal! Detective Gumshoe.
What are you so jumpy about, Detective? Your hair's standing on end.
Hey, that's the pot calling the kettle black, little Miss Top Knot.
It's not a top knot.
Uh-huh. Never mind about the hair. Just calm down, all right? I can't stand still when I don't have a job to do. I get kind of wound up. No kidding. You gotta have something you need me to do, pal. Anything. Well, the office is kind of dirty. Hey, I'm gonna take a jog back down to the precinct. I can get some prints analyzed for you if you got an hour. An hour? The trial will have reconvened by then.
But Nick, we still don't have a really decisive piece of evidence, right?
Woo! That's some kind of trump card to pull out of the bag. We're really stuck. You sure you can get some fingerprint analysis done in an hour? Yeah, you bet. In that case, would you mind checking the prints on this for me? Yeah, we should probably send back this bad boy. If you're going back to the station anyway, could you find out whose prints are on this? Oh, hey, that's the small bottle I gave back to you this morning, right? Yeah, I think it's time we solved the last mystery of who the prints on it belong to. Nothing, pal. Actually, that's been gnawing at me too. Small bottle given to Detective Gumshoe. Okay, I'll get this off to the lab right away. Just make sure you don't lose the case before I get back. Real fucking funny, Gumshoe. And this is pretty much the final showdown, I guess.
It's time to separate the phonies from the real guys.
January 8th, 1:56 p.m., District Court, courtroom number 4. The court will now reconvene. Mr. Godot, did you find this Furio Tigre? I haven't tamed it. It was a 3-cup job. No problem. It's tamed him? The guy's name may be Furio Tigre? But come on. He's pretty lively. Be careful, he still bites. Very well. Please show Mr. Tigre to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Don't hide under the table, Maya. There's room down there for me too. Would you mind? What'd you say to me? Nothing. I said nothing. Honest. Who could have guessed that the fear would induce a bad Brooklyn accent? Judge. I got business to take care of, you hear me? Now, who the hell called me into this hole? Was it you, Spiky? Heck, no, of course not. It was the judge? Your Honor? Oh dear, I seem to have dropped my pen. Where on earth is it? Don't mind me, just carry on with the proceedings as normal. That's it, we're fucked. Maybe you just didn't hear me. I said, who the hell was it that called me in here? There's no need to shout. We can all hear you. What'd you say? There's no point struggling. You're caught in the snare. The relentless snare of the law. But I think Godot played for both teams.
Oh, well, I thought that was obvious.
I'm the one that hauled you in. Too cool? It's you.
Don't let him get the better of you, Nick.
Just staring at Ka-Ching's booty hole. Happy belated birthday. Let's start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, correct? Incident? I don't know nothing about no stinking incident, masked boy. You mean you didn't attend the previous trial of Maggie Bird? Maggie who? I got more important things to do than watch courtroom dramas. Of course. Well, perhaps you could give us your testimony then. Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder. Phoenix Wright! You was the one who set this up, didn't you? You're gonna regret the day you ruffled the tiger's fur. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I should have brought a diaper with me today. No.
Get a grip, Nick.
Fucking grip something while you're down there under the desk, Maya. What was that? A little bit of I'm fucking your dead sister! Anyway, excuse me, professional. The tiger's alibi. Well, I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up with business in December last year, spent all my time in my office. I got whales lined with the borrow cash from Tenderlunda every single day. If you want to check with my alibi, you can just ask via letter. At last I found my pen. There it was. See. Very well then, Mr. Wright. What is it? Please, witness, if you could refrain from shouting like that. I know the kind of games that guy knows. That lowlife ain't no lawyer. He just punches away at stupid details till he wins. Lowlife? Me? Listen up, Smarty. Every time you ask me something that didn't relate to this case, I'm gonna bill you $50,000, and you're gonna borrow the cash from me. That's one loan contract I refuse to sign. And don't think it's gonna hurt when you tangle with a tiger. I would watch that for $25,000. Touch me while I watch for 30. I love a good spectator sport. Just a minute, that's really not this witness is. How can I put it? Hungry tiger from an urban jungle. Get on his bad side and he'll bite everyone's head off. Yours too. Very well, I have no choice but to impose a penalty system here. You better be listening. I said I got business to take care of. Big business. If I don't split now, I ain't gonna catch my bus. Oh, big business, riding the bus for big business. Summer in January. The court will impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of witness testimony. Keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor.
You can do it, Nick.
Out from under there already, would you? Maya? Oh, good. Good. I have to do this all in one fell swoop. I don't know nothing about no murder. Was tied up with business in December last year, spent all of my time in the office. I got whales lined up to borrow cash from Tenderlunda every single day. Want to check my alibi? Just ask by your letter.
Just think, all you have to do is press him on something irrelevant, and bam, $50,000.
Get real, Maya. How about you pay back the money then? Your allowance should cover it.
Hey, I'm no idiot, you know.
Well, I'm certainly not the one who thought the $50,000 was free money. Anyway, I need to work this guy without pressing his testimony too hard.
But his testimony is pretty solid as it is.
I admit, nothing jumps out at contradiction. I gotta find an opening somewhere. I need to make one. Wasn't Violetta in a hospital? Are you sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago, you know? You see these teeth? That's how sharp my secretary is. Sharp? talking about Viola Cadaverini? Cadaverini? He writes everything in my schedule. December, mainly in the office. That's what it says. So that's where I was. That seems like a rather sketchy schedule. There he goes again. What the tiger did all December isn't the issue. What's important is what he was doing on the day of the murder. So, now what? YOLO. Mr. Tigray, what do you want? If you wouldn't mind going a little bit more into detail? This is a dead end train, you know it. Remember the objection. Aussies are wonderful, wonderful people. No, it's essential that we establish the witness's alibi accurately. That's an extra apostrophe S. It should just be an apostrophe. Yes, witness is possessive, but that's an S after the apostrophe isn't needed. There's already 2 S's. I agree. The victim was killed on December 3rd. Were you in the office that day too? Maybe yous ain't listening. Of course I was. I never set foot outside. I had meetings all day with a bunch of cats wanting to do business with me. I ain't never seen that young kid before. I do believe the witness's last statement was important. Mr. Godot, if you could, please. Mr. T, the court asks that you add that last statement to your testimony. Don't fit where you eat. Please don't fuck your co-workers. It's great advice. Don't let an animal beat you. Be a man, Your Honor, and ask him yourself. The days you was talking about, I was in the office too. I never saw that kid. You're full of shit. See, in my version of Phoenix Radio, it says, that's fucking bullshit. Meet with the tiger. Mr. Tigray, you claim you didn't know Mr. Glenn Elg, but it appears that Mr. Elg knew you. What? Mr. Elg left this little note on his calendar. Meet with the tiger. And the date? December 3rd. December 3rd? That's the day of the murder. So, Mr. Tigray, I submit that you did indeed know one Mr. Glenn Elg. Because on the very day of the incident, you met with him. Objection, that is bullshit. Not bad, he's actually not bad. Sorry? I was just messing with you to see how good you were.
Did you hear that, Nick? He said you're not bad.
That's one compliment I could do without. Plus, he's lying through his fucking teeth, Maya. Witness, please remember that you're under oath. Lies will not be tolerated. You's calling me a liar? Is that what you doing? Ruh-roh. So you're saying that your claim to have never seen that kid before is the truth? I said I'm dead serious. You better believe that's the truth. Then I'd say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. Some big old BBC. British Broadcasting. Sure. That is why you testified for the court again, Mr. Tigray. Oh, yes, would you mind indulging the court witness? He never actually met the victim? That's gotta be a lie right there. It's time I nailed this guy. That's what the shower's for. All right. I ain't no liar, I never met Glenn Elk. There was some lame guy with that name, though. Wanted to borrow cash from me. Set up a meeting with the guy at my office, 10 to lend it. I waited around for him, but he ain't ever showed. I ain't never been to that Tribulations joint, you see it? Well, that all seems perfectly logical. You had arranged to meet with the victim, but it didn't show up. I've heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead. Very well, you may begin with your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. And I already know why it's bullshit, so we'll just tinker around. Didn't I tell you I got a big deal going down today? I ain't gonna make my bus now. I'm gonna have to take the express train. That bill's going straight to you, right? Whatever, eat shit, scumbag. I ain't no liar. I never met Glenn. There's a lame guy with that name, though. Wanted to borrow cash. I set up a meeting with the guy at my office, Candelenda. I waited around for him, but he ain't ever showed. I ain't never been to that Tribulations. You see it? Oh, guess what? You're full of shit, 'cause I found these in your fucking office, idiot. Bullshit, Mr. Tigre. Is there something you'd like to tell the court about these fucking matches I found on the floor of your goddamn office? Matches? What you was talking about? We found them in your fucking office, you stupid trollop, at the Tender Lender. They're from that restaurant. What? If you've really never been to Tribulations before, what was the book of the matches, the restaurant's matches doing on your fucking desk, idiot? You've been snooping around in my stuff now, too, huh, wise guy? What are you, my ball and chain? Ain't no broad controlling me. 'Cause I'm into dudes. I like dudes. Order. Well, witness, I think it's time you started telling us the truth, don't you? I'm so terribly sorry, please forgive me. Oh, there's my pen again. I ain't no pussycat. I don't go back on what I said. But, okay, I was at the joint that day. What? Well, listen good, all right? I might have been there, but I still never met that kid. Really, is it just gonna be me single-handedly pointing evidence to him every time? Well. Looks like an order just came in for another testimony. I'm this close to proving him. He did meet Glenn Elk that day, and he did put poison in his coffee. He must have. Dude, the goalpost needs some fucking attention. I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. I figured if the place wasn't hot already, it was gonna be, so I split. I heard the cop sirens on the way out, and I went straight back to my office. I see. You didn't actually meet with him in the end, then. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Well then, if I wait around here any longer, I ain't even gonna make the normal express. No more stupid questions. No problem. Anytime Wright presses you on something irrelevant, I'll see he pays a penalty. Mr. Godot, that's my job. Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call it guilty for murder, you little bitch. So do it. Yes, sir. The Special Express ain't cheap, right? Just so you know, since you's paying. Ah, man, doesn't the rule of law mean anything around here? No, welcome to corruption. I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door of the joint, I saw an ugly scene. The guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. Figured if the place wasn't hot already, it was gonna be, so I split. I heard the cop sirens on my way out. I went straight back to my office.
Well, Nick, what do you think?
He's running out of ways to avoid the truth. I need to press him fast before Harry has time to think things through. I gotta come right back at him with a contradiction.
Be careful what you press him on, though, or you'll get penalized, okay?
Yeah. Well, these are both about the restaurant itself. We already used the crime scene photo. I haven't used the blueprints yet. All right, there's a win. There's a win. You're something of a loan collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. T. Gray? No one escapes the tiger's clutches. Well, I'm something of a lie detecting pro. I'm also a bit of an erection detector, too. I'll show you after the court case. The prosecution can bring in these lying ass mofos that we can't ask questions about their lies. Yeah, true. True. And no one escapes the Phoenix clutches. This dialogue got real cheesy real fucking quick. I think it's time we got something straight, because no one in this fucking court case or courtroom is. What's this, Trite? New line of irrelevant questioning? Hi, I'm Kios. I'm 31. I'm married. I like long walks on the beach and casual perjury. These are the floor plans of the crime scene. You say you were standing at the entrance, Mr. T. Gray? From there, your field of vision would have covered an area something like this. Indeed, the witness would have had a clear view of the victim's seat. Isn't that what I just said? I saw the back of the kid's head. No, unfortunately for you, that is not possible. If the court would think back, you'll remember that between each of the tables is a wall. Yeah, how did you all forget that there's a fucking wall there? Does anyone here know how to read blueprints? Fuck, the last time I told people I knew how to read blueprints, that was the worst mistake of my fucking life. It's a tall partition. Why, that's true. True, said the old man. Now look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. From the entrance, the field of vision of any customer walking in ends here. So, from the entrance to Tribulations, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. But you did see that victim that day because you met with him. Fuck off, kiddo, I'm busy. Wrong. Have you forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday? The one that we fucking ignored 3 times and then agreed to use another time and then fucking ignored an 8th time? Victim was alone at his table. No, but the defense just proved that the point to be moot. The victim, witnessed by Mr. Kudo, was not Glenn Elg, but a fake. What? In order to have Mr. Kudo falsely testify, the real killer posed as the victim he had just killed, acted out a charade. Sheesh, had to fix my microphone. At least 3 full weeks of casual perjury? Oh, that sounds like the January 6th shit. And the fucking trials we had here. And anything that's happened in Arizona, and anything that happens at fucking CPAC. Anything happens at, well, OAN, Newsmax, Fox News, and hell, even sometimes CNN. What the fuck do we do? I'm just some idiot on the fucking internet struggling to survive. That will do. This trial has gone on long enough without the obvious questions being answered. Who the hell is my wife? And how did I get here? Who exactly was this real killer who impersonated the victim? Any fucking Monday. You say the killer murdered Glenn Elg and then impersonated his victim in a performance for Victor Kudo. In that case, Mr. Wright, reveal the identity of this criminal to the court. Well, there's only one person we know that has a degree in acting. That asshole. Obviously, the killer is Furio Tigre. No one else could have done it. What? Well, a witness. Now that's cute. You think you can pin this on the tiger? What dares you to say it again? Come on, you got the guts. You can't threaten me, Mr. Tigre. It's the defense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright! Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. You've got the guts, I'll give you that. Mr. Wright, do not leave me to handle this alone. Perhaps I can end this embarrassment. Mr. Godot! Let's just go back over Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. Oh yeah, that one's full of shit too. Hey, don't forget, definitely just happened to accidentally shoot himself in the back of the fucking head. Unlocked jail cell. I will still always go on the record and say QAnon is full of bullshit. But rich and powerful people do have a weird thing about wanting to fuck kids, and definitely a cover up on that one, because it's amazing how both the guards fell asleep and none of the cameras worked, and all of a sudden this totally normal guy just happened to die of accidentally hanging himself to death. It's all bullshit. We are force-fed it. The old man didn't just see the victim. Oh, no. The servant girl brought me in a Javachino, and she put something in it. There's no question about it. She's very conspicuously put some white powder in there. Was the victim you saw the real victim or not? That doesn't matter. The fact remains, you saw the accused put the poison into the coffee. Yes, it was. Very impressive, Mr. Godot. Waiting for my absence to launch your attack. Found your pen at last, right? I never lose them. It's in my pocket. Besides, I'm from Pen 15 land. A big fan of Penn Island. Anyway, Mr. Kudo witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenn Elg, and the waitress from behind. Yes, your point, Mr. Wright? I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glenn Elg was really the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible the waitress was also part of the show. What? You mean the waitress was an imposter as well? The defendant, Ms. Bird, fell unconscious immediately after the incident, and someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her. Who was this waitress that Mr. Kudo witnessed? Well, I mean, considering they have... All right, let's take a look. Maggie has nice and short hair. The waitress in the back has long hair. Who is this woman? Her name is Viola Cadaverini. She's an employee of Tender Lender. I don't get it either. Yeah, we're still here, Flynn. You know whose Violetta grandfather is? You better be going home in an armored truck tonight, if you know what I mean.
Stop shaking, Nick.
Where was I? Yes, the defendant, Ms. Bird, has stated the following.
Well, took coffee over to the victim's table. It's true there was another customer in the restaurant. She was sort of creepy. And she had kind of a cackling laugh.
There are just too many contradictions in this case. Second man at the victim's table, who but Ms. Bird seems to have seen. The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when that eardrum was ruptured. And the radio show he was supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over. There's only one logical explanation that clears up all these contradictions. Y'all cowards aren't fucking smoking crack. The whole incident took place twice. Once for real and once for show. And Mr. Furio Tigre, the only person who could have committed the crime, is you. We just worked on practice stuff. TZA we killed early because it was garbage. Oh, witness, what has you got to say? Oh, that's cute. I'm sorry. You's all right. I could do with a guy like you around. What do you mean? Okay, I'm in on this game. I'm gonna have to charter a jet to get me to my meeting. I'm gonna give you one more thing to think about before I go. Something to think about? What, like the immortality of a crab? You's got it all wrapped up. All right. But you's missed out on one real important thing. But that can't be. I was in the joint that day, and I met that kid too. But I couldn't have poisoned him, you see? What? Do you really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tigre? What a troublemaker. Troublemaker? Looks like we're gonna need another one for the road. One more steaming cup of hot testimony. Kinda like a hot Carl. Indeed, witness, you will explain yourself to the court. I will give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day at Tribulations between yourself and the victim? Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I think we're almost there. Yeah, I loaned Elm cash, about $100,000. That day, we was due to have a little chat. The kid had hit his payback date, see? So anyway, he tells me he's not gonna pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he fucking starts screaming. Yeah, I won $500,000. He got lucky, you know, like real lucky. If that waitress hadn't done what she'd done, everything would have been over. Now, I see that the principal amount you loaned to Mr. Elg was $50,000. Yeah, well, you's got the VIG to take into account. The interest builds up fast, you know? It's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal. And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question. Yeah, he was one lucky kid. He got that $500,000 just in time. So I ain't have no reason to kill the kid. Allegedly. And if I ain't got no motive, well, you ain't got no case. Is motive? He has to have one, but what is it? We'll push him down the river. Go ahead. What's your motive then? Waitress, you mean? Yeah, the girl with the glasses in the defendant's chair. Who else could I mean? If she hadn't gotten away, things would have been bada bing, bada boom, over and done with. Maybe I should push a little bit on this. Oh, what do you mean things would have been over and done with? Are yous all there or what? I'm talking about the cash. I was there to get my $100,000 back, that's all. I'm a businessman. It was all coming together before that waitress got in the way. As far as I can tell from the witness's testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. Tigre had no motive for killing his victim. Witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect what you have just said. Tiger's motive, huh? Yeah, it was after the $100,000. I didn't have no other reason to kill the guy. Yeah, except that computer virus? So you just intended to get back the $100,000 that Mr. Elg owed you, correct? I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right. Unfortunately for Mr. Elg, I don't believe the $100,000 is what you were really after. What are you getting at, right? What else would a moneylender be after other than money? Oh, the moneylender was after money, but money in a totally different league. The kind of money that a single disc like this would fetch. What is that? A computer virus, Your Honor. A virus called MC Bomber. A computer virus? What does one of those do? A computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer. A computer? What does one of those do? I guess the beard isn't the only part of His Honor that's from the Stone Age. True, like my Fire mixtape. Like Basil and what's his fuck? I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is the important point. A virus like MC Bomber would be worth several $1 million on the black market. Well, several $1 million? Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. But in this case, the very fact that Glenn Elg had no way to repay the money is crucial. What? Glenn Elg was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Mr. Elg put up in order to borrow the money. Objection. Fuck off, kiddo, I'm on a roll. You're trying to suggest that the witness's motive was to get a hold of that program? Exactly. The witness may have poor fashion sense, but he is by no means an idiot trite. A man like him could get his hands on $1 million without resorting to murder. Of course he could, provided that he had time. What if he needed the money right then? When the pressure's on, the luxury of choice tends to disappear. Well, it seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share it with us? Why did Mr. Tigre need money to the tune of $1 million? Probably Viola's medical bills, because he ran her over with a fucking car.
It was for the wieners.
What?
It was for the wieners.
Woo! All those wieners. In December of last year, you found yourself in need of a huge amount of money. About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An incident involving a car, a scooter, in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital where she underwent surgery. How much it is do you know? These medical papers document the treatment of a young woman in question. According to these, her operation costs $1 million. And yet, when the payment was due last month, you somehow managed to pay it in full. $1 million? A preposterous sum. Someone should sue these HMOs. Nah, no one would pay a bill like that. The medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up as dead as a morgue. But Mr. Tigre had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it. Order, order, order. You say his life depended on it, Mr. Wright? Indeed it did. Simply because the injured woman was no other than Viola Cadaverini. Did you say Cadaverini? I love that pasta. The little coffin-shaped boxes are just scrumdiddlyumptious. Bruto Cadaverini, mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city, and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini. Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You were desperate to acquire the $1 million Bruto Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glenn Elg's life to pay your debt. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tigre's sole intention was to get his hands on this CD. Glenn Elg had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tigre knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tigre would prefer to say never happened. But he can't, and well, neither can I. Fuck him, right? The lottery win. Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Elg won $500,000 on the lottery, which left Mr. Tigre with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. You'd think that, but the banks failed in 2008 because they gave away all their money and were just like, ah, fuck it. What's the worst that could happen? They're not gonna let us fall and fucking collapse, right? At least, no legitimate way. So he resorted to illegitimate means. That's crazy. He murdered Glenn Elg and then made his next move to frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tigre posed as Glenn Elg, and while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Ms. Bird, and then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we all heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Kudo. Objection! No! Like I said, Tribe, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef could have been kept in the dark about it. But Mr. Armstrong was in on it from the very beginning. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Godot? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money too. $500,000, in fact. He had no chance but to go along with Mr. Tigre's plan. Yeah, good old ITCM. Yep. You's put on a good show, Spiky. If you want to stay alive in the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. You saying I dressed up like that kid, created a witness, and framed someone? If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't even dumb enough to do something sloppy like that. I agree. You do? Despite your appearance, you are very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Ms. Bird had no way out. What, another one? Mr. Wright. Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, right? What was the trick you say Mr. Tigre performed to frame the accused? Well, if you remember from the beginning of the case, he was the fucking lawyer. So we have this horrible paper badge. What on earth is that tremendous piece of shit? What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish imitation. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tigre, you didn't just pose as the victim on the day in question. A month ago, in this very court, you posed as me. What? That's the truth. True. But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you, standing in here this very court a mere month ago. The Phoenix Wright who put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I had ever seen.
Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove the attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man? Are you prepared to take the stand and testify that it's him? Hey.
Forget about it, yeah?
I wouldn't do something like that. Not me.
You made a mistake, right? It was someone else, huh? No, fuck off and die. Have you no pride, sir?
I've drank so much coffee, I've literally crapped myself. This isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, Wright, here in court, we deal with people's lives.
Mr. Godot is right.
Your Honor?
Speaking for myself, I'm absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing here before me now. However, I preside over this court as the judge, with the power vested in me to hand down verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by a memory without evidence to support it. Oh, come on. If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. The circumstances surrounding Mr. Tigre are dubious for sure, but not conclusive.
But we've come so far.
And in the end, it didn't even matter.
You say he impersonated Glenelg, you say he impersonated you, but none of that adds up to a murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's coffee. Sucks to be you, right? Don't mess with a tiger, you're gonna get mauled. He's got that.
All we managed to do in here was chase him around a bit. I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt.
Looks like I won't be needing a reef.
I had just one more piece of evidence. One more piece of evidence, and maybe I could get Maggie off the hook. This witness's cross-examination is over, and you are free to go, Mr. Tigre.
Aw shit, is it Gumshoe? Let's go!
You wanna, sir? Wait! Detective? Detective Gumshoe? Hey, sorry I took so long, pal. I staked everything on this. My badge, the works. So, here it is. My heart's counting on this, too. What is it, Detective? Isn't it obvious, pal? It's the final, decisive piece of evidence! What? What? January 8th, 2:48 p.m. District Court, and in lobby number 1. I'm sorry it took so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab. The results? About the prunes, pal, from this medicine bottle.
Oh, so do you know who the prints belong to now?
Nope, not at all. Do you think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know.
So, tell us. They're the tigers, right? I knew it.
You bet. Clear as crystal, all over the bottle. The Furio Tigre's paw prints, all right.
That's great. We've got them now, Nick. What's wrong with you? You've hardly said a word since Detective Gumshoe got here. He's laid everything on the line for this, Nick.
I know. Look, I'm sorry. This is kind of hard to say, but it looks like you've got a fucking joystick on the top of your head. You look fucking ridiculous. It really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on those bottles. Huh? What? Why not? What we need to produce at this stage in the trial is irrefutable evidence that the tiger put poison in Glen Elk's coffee. He's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle really doesn't make any difference now. I knew it. Great, no matter how hard I try, I'm never of any use.
Hey, don't be so hard on yourself.
This is our last chance to help Maggie. I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright, I'm a real loser. It's not brand new breaking news to me, pal.
Detective Gumshoe? Maggie! You've been working on something for me?
Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. And I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry. I'll get out of your hair now.
Detective Gumshoe, wait!
He's gone.
Isn't there anything we can do now, Nick?
I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it. Sage. January 8th, 3:04 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. This should wrap up almost perfectly. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? I granted you a recess so you could prepare this decisive evidence you've discovered. Yes. If I know better, this means we're like probably... I don't know, Demon. How much longer do we have? I know we're like really, really close. Jesus, Sandy, what the fuck?
Don't keep us all in suspense, Trey. Show us. Naturally, we can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court.
Like 5-10 minutes? All right, we're almost there. Think, Phoenix. Don't let Gumshoe's hard work go to waste.
How much more of my time's are yous gonna waste? I ain't been to no court before. But yous lawyers sure know how to blow things out of proportion.
No doubt. Given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, you will talk us through it, Mr. Wright. Well, I know I can't prove anything new with this evidence. I'm really backed into a corner here. But maybe if he thinks he's got me beat. He'll let his guard down. Well, don't keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright. Present this final decisive piece of evidence to the court. Fuck it. This is the defense's final piece of evidence. Isn't that the victim's... Your Honor? Naturally, the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tigre. Oh, I see.
What?
But Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information? Everyone in here knows what this bottle contains, except one man. One person in this courtroom should theoretically be in the dark.
My prints are on that pansy-looking bottle. Is that who's you saying? Well, what the hell's in it anyway?
Aw, shit. A phony trial, a phony lawyer, and phony clues. Everything about this case has been phony. It seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Let's go committing fucking crimes. Mr. Tigre, this is a decisive piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains... Oh, fuck it. Cyanide. Fuck you. You killed him, idiot. This bottle contains potassium cyanide. Potassium cyanide. The poison used to murder Mr. Elg, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tigre, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that?
You'd make a good clown, you know that?
What?
You ain't never gonna get this to stick. You're just making me laugh now.
You think a cheap bluff like that is gonna fool the tiger? A bluff?
I can see straight through you, Phoenix Wright.
That ain't the bottle with the cyanide in it. No, this is the bottle we found traces of the poison in.
Don't mess with the tiger, you're gonna get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle was brown, and it was made of glass.
That cheap piece of trash
don't look nothing like it.
Way to go, Goodell. Well, the judge shit himself. It's his annual 3:30 p.m. shit break. Got him. At last.
What? Why is everyone going quiet? I said that bottle.
Is this the bottle you're referring to?
Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle with the cyanide was in. But you ain't gonna find my prints on that bottle. Don't let that cozy looking suit fool you, people. That lawyer's just playing games. Tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Tell that guy where to go.
You still haven't figured it out?
Don't you realize what you just said? What I said? What did I just say?
You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. If you really had nothing to do with the murder, you shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. But just now, you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You got caught with your fucking dick in your hand and the other one in the cookie jar. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison.
You don't know those you's messing with. I'm the tiger. I control millions of dollars on the black market. You think I'm just gonna let some jumped up suit get the better of me?
Sure, last piece of evidence was phony. That's just what you deserve. A phony trial with a phony lawyer. It was all played out by you, the biggest phony of all.
Hey, that guy's a big phony.
Well, I hope this is over now. I need to go to bed soon. What's going on? It looks like a blackout.
Well done. That's right. Saved my 17th cup of coffee just for you. Savor it. Taste it. Wanna lick you clean later. While you watch the police restrain your prey.
Mr. Wright, you caught a tiger by the toe, but if this one hollers, he won't be let go. Now then, how are things going with Mr. Tigre, Mr. Godot?
He is being arrested on suspicion of the murder of Glenn Elg, Your Honor.
Fortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave error. Miss Bird was found guilty in absence of a genuine defense attorney. Yes, she was.
And in the absence of genuine evidence. But the tiger made one mistake.
Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. Yeah, that's how I got meningitis. Back in Alsace-Lorraine in the early 50s. Furio Tigre is a cruelly frightening criminal.
The truly frightening one is that defense attorney over there.
Doe. No, not at all. Well, I am now in a position to deliver my verdict. This court finds the defendant, Maggie Bird, not guilty, motherfuckers! GG. Please clap. That is all. The court is adjourned. Get the fuck out of here. I've got lunch to make. Congratulations!
Mr. Wright, I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me in all that trouble a month ago. But now I feel like I can forgive him.
Yeah, take care, Sandy. And yes, there's always confetti stocked in the ceiling in the courtrooms in Japan. It's obvious. Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the tiger.
Look, Nick, in the doorway.
Detective Gumshoe.
Oh, I guess I'll be heading off then. I'll see you around, pal. Bye.
Wait!
Detective Gumshoe?
Oh yeah, congratulations, Maggie.
Thanks.
I knew you was innocent all along.
Why didn't you say that in your testimony then?
Huh? Oh, well, I was... Well, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around.
Wait up, detective. Just fucking ran off. What the fuck?
Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. It's thanks to him that we got the medication bottle. That wasn't even of any use. But it's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles.
Poor guy. Well, looks like she still isn't ready to forgive.
Can't you put in a good word for him, Nick?
Yeah, Maya's right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. Maggie? You know, Detective Gumshoe's been really worried about you through all this.
I wanted to believe that, sir. But on that first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up.
He didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts.
He doubted me, that's why. I thought I might have done it, or he thought I might have done it.
I've got to prove to her that Gumshoe really cares about her. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. God, I hope it's wings.
Give me the wings.
Have another one. Here you are, a present to celebrate your freedom.
That's...
A present from Detective Gumshoe, made with a ton of love.
He said you lost weight and he was worried about you. Detective Gumshoe... I actually really like weenies, you know?
We need some milk.
Hell yeah.
Gamey.
Oh.
Jerry. I want you to fuck me. Fuck me.
Is that high?
Same. The fuck was that noise?
Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know.
Yeah, the trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it?
Is it okay if I eat this now?
Just crying, eating some weenies.
So, how How is it, Maggie? It's really good.
Two girls jamming on some wieners. So the case of phony versus genuine comes to an end, and the false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. And who knows? Maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start. Yeah, maybe. All right. Recipe for Turnabout, Episode 3, End. Cheers, Bubba. We did it. Oh shit, is that Edgeworth?